Well, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I wanted you to see this because if you come to my booth, and I'll tell you where I am, I'm clear on the other end of the whole building in the room 400. There's a whole 20 other booths in there, and I'm the one in the far corner, and it's purple, and that's me. So if you come on over and join my email list, free little mini chocolate tart. Oh, yes, I did. I brought it with me. It goes clear to chakra 8, so we're really about getting you updated here. I would love to have you on my email list, and you can get more information. Now I'm going to erase it. I don't have patience to write these awesome things. My husband was laughing because I'm like, I don't have patience to write this. Okay, I'm going to start here because it's really important for you to know why you are here. Because I'm going to tell you something. Your attention is very valuable. And I'm going to prove it to you. Everybody wants your attention. When you're going down the freeway, everybody's trying to get your attention with the billboards. Everybody wants your attention over here in the marketing. Everybody wants your attention. Because your presence, you being present, is a very valuable thing because you are valuable. Your mind is valuable. Your ability to change things is valuable. So, before we start, I would like to know what brought you here. How many other speakers do we have today? We have 8 speakers going on at the same time. What made you choose this one? Why are you present with me now? Just go ahead. Yes.
I muscle tested I should come to your class.
Okay, so she got an outside source. Actually, an internal source. Muscle tested. This is where I'm supposed to be. Yes.
Also, the last Energy Conference, you had a booth, and I just was interested by your book. And so I came and I went, oh, this is what I need.
There she is. Okay, well, I'm glad you're here. Who else? What brought you?
A good friend of mine told me about, she let me borrow your book.
Okay.
And then I also was intrigued by Fifth Dimension. I'm like, wow.
Okay. So I'm going to put the book, Fifth Dimension. Anyone else? Yes.
I have to second Fifth Dimension. I was looking at all these offers, and this just riveted me, and I realized I'm in transition and I need this.
Yay! Thank you. Yes.
I was actually looking through the pamphlet, and it seemed like this was a little more advanced class.
Advanced class.
Not a lot of people know about this.
We're not talking about this much, are we? At least in this group of people.
Fifth dimension.
Yeah. Some people are talking about it all the time. It just depends on where you are. Yes.
Well, when I saw I didn't even know about the conference till about 4 days ago. And so I looked at it and I went, oh, I'm supposed to go. I have no idea why I'm coming. So then I'm walking down the thing out here to pay. Don't have a book or anything. And I ran into, I don't know where she's at. And I started figuring out where to buy tickets at. And she tells me, and I go, well, what class are you going to? And she goes, well, I'm going to this one. And I go, well, what is it? And then I looked and I went, okay, I'm going to this.
Okay.
There you go. Have no idea.
You're here because a friend. Any other? Yes.
Well, this is my first conference that I really felt like I should come, and so I've been praying a lot. And between classes, too, to know where to go next. And so I met you, and I felt like I should come to your class and what's interesting. So
Okay, so can I put curious here?
prayer mostly.
Okay. And prayer. Okay, I like that you're being present with prayer. Yes.
I saw you on the presenters list, and I was drawn to your energy.
Did I have an energy on the list? Okay. Okay, so energy. So the energy said so. You're following the energy. Anybody have something different? Yes.
I'm fascinated by the next life, and so
Okay.
it seems like something that will help me learn more about it.
Okay. Some people are done here and they're ready for the next life. I know that's not quite what she meant. Tracy.
Social media. I found you
Okay.
on Facebook page, and I found your blog. Started reading it, loved it.
Okay.
Want more of it, so here I am.
Okay. You just want to know more about Wendy and what she has to say? Yes, Kristen.
I know you, and when I just talked with you, and the thing I was debating between two different classes, and what you said just really resonated. I thought, well, this is where I need to go for more instruction.
Cool. Okay. So a lot of it is just this internal guidance, intuition, the Holy Ghost, something said. It's all the same energy. And when you're tapping into it, you're getting present with it. You're listening, saying, what? And it takes a lot of trust in yourself because you've made a lot of poor choices in your life, right? And you have 8 choices to choose from. How am I going to know that this is the right class for me? And you have to just trust that it feels right, feels right. So I encourage you that if you don't know why you're in this class, ask yourself, what drew me here? What do I want to learn from this girl? What do I want to learn about this topic? And write it down. Because when you have an intention, the universe starts to conspire to help bring it to you. So everyone in this class is going to hear something different come out of my mouth. I can teach a class, and then I'll ask, what did you learn? And I will have a stream of stuff on the board that I didn't even talk about. Okay, so I want to be in that flow of energy. Is that good? So you know why you're here. Your soul knows why you're here. If you think you're here just because you're following a friend or just because you didn't know, you really don't know, you do know. You're here for a reason. Trust in that. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I talk about a lot of these things. Who knows about fifth dimension? What is this? What do you know about it?
We're raising up in vibration. A lot of the third dimensional things. At the moment, you're looking at 3D. Everything's 3D. Well, as we're moving up in dimensions, it's raising in vibration and energy. You're moving from 3D to 4D to 5D and up all dimensions.
Yes.
Once again, this comes from a song in 1960-something, The Age of Aquarius. Dimension. And as we're moving up in vibration, our bodies are turning from carbon 3D bodies to crystalline light bodies. And these bodies can't survive in the higher dimensions.
What's coming?
So
Yeah.
that's why your body's got to shift from a third dimensional aspect, physical body, to a light body, which a lot of the times when people see angels, galactics, whatever you want to call them, they have light bodies. Well, that's because they already went through the ascension process.
Yes.
They're vibrating at a higher level and a higher density than the lower vibrations that we're living in right now. But as we're changing, we're moving up in dimensions.
Very cool. Do you know what's really cool? Is that you have the power and conviction to talk about that like that in this room with these people. That's awesome. Because I haven't had that courage. Okay, what do you know about fifth dimension?
Well, in the non-LDS spiritual community, the belief is the ascension process. And
Yes.
I see it as more of ourselves preparing for the second coming. So we have to change in order to get to that point. And so we're shifting, the earth is shifting, we're all shifting, our vibrations are shifting.
And those who are not shifting are going to get really uncomfortable.
Right, exactly.
Turbulence up ahead. We all know it. We all feel it. We're not quite sure what it's going to look like. A lot of us have been, dreamed about it, and we think we know about it, and a lot of us have prophesied about it, and we're all just dreaming about it. We're not quite sure what all of that means. Did you have a comment? Anyone else? Okay. So some of what I had to share today, I'm just going to write it on down and read what I was inspired to write as I knew about this presentation. And then I'm going to shift a little bit and open up. Because sometimes when you get asked to speak, I'm supposed to go freestyle. Other times I'm supposed to go, don't deviate from the script. I told you what to say. This is going to be a little bit of both. So, what was your name? Again? Yes. Tristan talked about kind of our consciousness. We're all in this room together. And we can see one another. But we're all vibrating at a different frequency. And so what a dimension is, they are states of consciousness. And then what that means is your level of awareness, or to the degree or the thickness, I will talk in a common term, the thickness of the veil that has been placed over you for your soul's learning and purpose. Okay? So these are energetic constructions that allow us to have experiences. When we say we're moving away from the third dimension, it means that collectively, the lessons that we have come to learn in the third dimensional state are coming to an end. And we're moving into higher realms of consciousness. But it has to happen individually before it can happen collectively. And when our awakened state has reached critical mass, then the collective consciousness will be able to shift all at once. So, we read, heard so many people say, well, the end of the world is coming. The wickedness all over the world, it's coming. What I understand now is that there is a big shift coming. But the reason that it's coming and the reason it's coming now is because we have not been to the level of consciousness to where we could sustain the shift that needs to happen. Yes?
I just had one comment. A lot of the times, too, people say it's the end of the world. I personally like to use it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, but it's the end of the world
as we know it. Yes, I agree. So we read in the Bible, in our scriptures, that Satan will be bound. Have you ever heard that? Anybody heard that? Okay, a lot of people have heard that. Well, that will wake up, we've also read that we'll wake up out of the illusion that we are separate from God. It's the process of waking out of the 3D and moving into the fifth dimension. So we talk about it all the time, we just use different language. Satan is the god of this dimension. Have you heard that? And the learning that was required for us to progress in the next realms of consciousness are coming to a close. We are the ones who will be binding Satan within our own minds and individually until it again happens collectively. And we talk about the earth receiving its paradisiacal glory. Anybody heard that before? Okay. And living in a millennium without these satanic ideas that bind the cords of Satan to us. How did you think that was going to happen? For me, I just thought that the world would get so wicked, except for all the good people who were like me, of course, and who believed and thought like me, that they and all the people who believed in Jesus, and then all of a sudden, poof, something would happen, and all the bad people would instantly die, and all the good people would be remaining. That's really a magical idea. It makes more sense, and it follows the laws of nature for this process to be a gradual process of waking up. And the time to wake up has come now. I'm coming to this conference. You're having a lot of awakenings going on. And I'm so grateful for Tammy and for Hope Haven Events that she's facilitating these kinds of events. So let's talk about this third dimension with which we're really acquainted with already. It's fixed. It's very rigid. Sage, would you mind coming writing some of these on the board? Okay. Does anybody have fabulous writing? Would you like that feels confident in their writing? Sage's skills are in other areas, and that is good to acknowledge it. So what I'll have you do is we're going to go. I'm going to need more for that one. And we'll just put third dimension. We'll be right there. Okay, the third dimension, which we're acquainted with, is very fixed. It's very rigid, and it's very conditional. And what I mean by conditional is you've been conditioned into it. Everything around you has conditioned you for the third dimension. We use words like always and never. And we say that our love is unconditional, yet there are little things that happen to affect our ability to love one another. Would you say, yeah, that happens? There's a strong grid work of duality. Right, wrong, good, bad. Everything is black and white and absolute. So just whatever comes to your mind.
I don't even know how to spell duality.
D-U-A. Yeah, that's
Is
okay.
that right?
Correct. Anything you write on there is
Okay.
automatically spelled.
That's right, because we're focused on learning, not on judging.
Duality?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So in this third dimension, we believe that the past will repeat itself, so we keep reacting according to what has happened in the past. In this third dimensional realm, we are very much conditioned and programmed into believing who we are not. We've totally had an identity crisis, and that's the veil. And we've misidentified with our true nature as beings of light and love. And for good reason, for our further light and knowledge. There are defined boundaries set by governments. These boundaries are set by religions, institutions, and there's a lot of greed in this dimension because it's all about me. It's all about self-interest. I need money for me and mine. I need comfort. I need luxury. I need relief. And all of this says I'm successful when I have it. I really don't care about the suffering that others are experiencing. I just need to take care of myself and my needs. And these systems and institutions, they will try to control populations with fear, shame, intimidation, condemnation, domination. And in the higher dimensions, these tactics will not work. As we're moving into the fifth dimension, those techniques that we've used for so long to get people to conform to what we feel is right, they are not going to work for us. And if you want to test this out, try them on your kids and see if they work. They're wired for something different.
We all have.
Yes, we have. I believe I wrote the book, Free Agency and How to Enforce It. I didn't sell any copies of that. Okay, so we will be... let me get back here. These techniques in these dimensions, these tactics will not work, and we'll be conscious enough to refuse to conform based on these lower dominating principles. Realize that we're making all of our choices based on the conditioning that we received in the third dimension. You have conditioning going on. You have been programmed. You know your sweet little child, when they come into this earth, they're so innocent. And you as a parent are writing programs. And their teachers are writing programs. And they came in with an inherited, DNA genetic program. And what we're doing now with energy work is we're clearing out the programs. Cleansing out the programs that are misidentifying with our true nature as beings of love and light. Infinite beings. So we are taught that our external world determines our reality, not our internal world. But yet Christ taught that the kingdom of God is where? Within. It's within us. It isn't until recently that we've been investigating the possibility that we're creating our world based on what's going on internally within us. When I first thought this, I thought, man, I want to be a victim. I want everybody else to be wrong. I don't want to be the one creating the chaos and crud in my life. But when I opened up and started realizing it, I realized I am the one that's attracting it based on my thoughts and my emotions. And you're going to hear a lot of that today. But things came out like The Secret. These are collective consciousness. We have movies that come out like The Secret, and they talk about the law of attraction. That is stepping into, we're kind of making an open doorway here into the fourth dimension. Fourth dimension is a place where we get to practice using our mind and understanding our mind and the power of our mind, the last and final frontier. And when we give the world movies like The Secret, we mix it, unfortunately, with the third dimensional greed, and we think that using the principles for our gain is what this new knowledge will give us. Unfortunately, it butts up against some of our internal guidance systems. Have you felt that? It's like, there's something true here and I want to learn about it, but there's something missing. So certainly, riches are not what are going to bring us happiness, but unfortunately, we practice these fourth dimensional skills like manifesting and vision boards while we're still swimming and held down by our baggage of self-interest that we collected in the third dimension. So you cannot leave the third dimension with your baggage. You can't leave the third dimension with your baggage. So you want to learn how to clear it out. You have to leave it behind. Everything that is not you has to go. We teach in the Body of Light course, which is the course that I do here, a little bit of advertising here, that it's all about cleaning out the baggage so you can maintain higher frequencies of light. Like Tristan was saying, our body is changing, it's shifting. What it's requiring from the earth is changing and shifting. Could you imagine the Savior coming to to rule this dimension when no one has even... Let me read this again. Could you imagine the Savior coming to rule this dimension when no one can even bear to be in his presence because they're so full of sludge and heavy goop? That's true. Until you get efficient in clearing and cleansing and processing our DNA, your computer will not be able to withstand the upgrade that's trying to upgrade onto it. You can't get past it. There really aren't any exceptions. So doing your inner work is the best thing that you can do for yourself and anybody else on the planet. So let's talk a little bit more about this fourth dimension here. Fourth dimension is a preparatory state.
Do I take this off?
No, you can keep
Okay.
Preparation. That's good. So let's think for a minute. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? If in fifth dimension everything you think manifests instantly, is it a good thing or a bad thing? If that were to just happen instantly. It depends on your attitude.
Well, I mean, I guess when I see it, if there's too many people still stuck in that human self-interest and that happens, that would be...
Yeah. Let's say all these people in third dimension, all of a
I
sudden...
don't want those thoughts
No, we don't.
coming out.
No. So if you're in third dimension, all rigid in there, and poof, everything manifests instantly, that would be a disaster. So, Kristen.
But when we get to the fifth dimension, is there even such a dichotomy as good and bad? It just is.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. So this is our preparatory state, this fourth dimension. So let's. Our minds are so full of resentment, greed, ego, garbage that whatever we thought of manifested instantly, it would be a disaster. But here in the fourth dimension, people are learning how to use their mind, their thoughts, and to adjust their beliefs to manifest their dreams, even if they're self-motivated. They're tapping into universal laws. Even if they're working from a place of greed, they're still tapping into the principles. Anyone can use them. The principles don't care who you are, what religion you are, what race you are, what gender you are. The rules and the laws of the universe work for everyone, even if you're a bad person. Ask Hitler, he figured it out. So, in the fourth dimension, we're in more of an expanded state of choice. When we have the time to observe our mind, that's what we're doing, then we have more ability to choose. So we're not reacting to our past conditioning all the time. We're taking a moment to stop and be present and saying, do I want to entertain this thought anymore? Where is it taking me? Whereas in third dimension, we didn't even know we're having the thought. We're just reacting, responding to it without even taking a moment to say, what am I thinking right now? So when we are unconscious of what it is in our mind, then we can only make choices based on the conditioning. But now that we're breaking free of our conditioning, we have more agency, more freedom to choose. And this is great because now we have more power to consciously respond to what's going on around us. We have an increased respond ability. What was once true in the third dimension is not necessarily true in the fourth dimension. In the third dimension, your DNA was non-negotiable. In science, I was taught this is what you get. This is your DNA. Now we know we have epigenetics and we have all kinds of things that are shifting our genes. In the third dimension, you had to go to school and get an education in order to make money. How many of you know Mark Zuckerberg that didn't need whatever he learned at school to make a Facebook? That structure is not there anymore. People are making money in all kinds of ways. So only trained experts have the ability to do certain things. That is starting to leave as well. And now we find that none of these things are exactly true all the time. So that's what I mean is, it used to be so black and white, and now things are shifting and changing. It's important to realize that most religions were established in the third dimension. But what I love about the religion that I chose to be born into is that I was encouraged to look for truth no matter where it came from. I was encouraged to develop a direct connection to God. For me, direct. I was told that I was the literal offspring of God, and that I had all power and potential to be like God. I was told that I had a mother in heaven, and that the Godhead was not solely paternal. So I was taught that there is a yin and a yang, just in different language. And I will say, until the yin and the yang are balanced in an institution, it will remain dysfunctional. It's the same in our own minds. We have to balance those things. I was encouraged to get answers for myself. I love that. I was encouraged to seek out my ancestors, and by doing so, I've discovered the genetic patterns of darkness, and I've been able to clear many generational issues. I was taught that there was a millennial day, and I was taught that Satan would be bound. I was taught to believe and expect in miracles, angels, visitations, and spiritual gifts. Because of this most terrific foundation, I'm able to recognize these millennial transformations that are happening. I was taught that I was saved for this day. Anybody else heard that? Wow, a miraculous day. It is indeed when the glue that has bound us in the third dimension is now dissolving. And we are able to access our gifts and powers that up until now have either been hidden or bound. What is interesting is that I'm also witnessing my religion is having to tear down some of its own baggage to get through some of its own evolution, because some of the old constructs and methods are not going to be sustainable for us as we travel into these higher dimensions. It's not just in our religion. It's in all religions right now. So in this fourth dimension, we start to have a keener perception between truth and error. Things become a little bit more transparent. We live in a day of transparency. We shift from only seeing one side of things to now having a global view, because we get on the internet and we can see not everybody thinks like you. And they're all doing okay still. That's the weird thing. Let's see. The internet has been instrumental in helping us get out of our ethnocentric mind, which means us and my village and my people and my tribal understandings, and into a more of a global or a worldview mindset. And the trouble is when we think that our worldview is superior, we're not ready to move into the fifth dimension because it creates separation. There have been and will continue to be many wars waged because of this 3D idea. We're starting to see that what was once true is not necessarily true anymore. We talked about that. But mind you, eternal principles are unchanging. They cannot change. But the cultural paradigms and the environmental constructs between cultures, religions, and groups that cause us to judge each other as separate, those are dissolving. And people are healing in ways we never thought possible. People are creating wealth in ways that we never thought possible. The way we learn is changing. The old systems and institutions created in the third dimensions are going away. With the internet, a lot of these things dissolve faster at a rapid pace because we're more connected. For instance, like, I'm not going to get political here. I'm just giving you an example. Hillary Clinton cannot get a download of campaign contributions without Bernie Sanders knowing about it and declaring it to the people that he wants to pit against her. You see what I'm saying? It's happening we can't hide the stuff that we used to be able to hide anymore. On a personal scale, until we learn how to recognize our programming and our conditioning, and we trade it in for higher thinking, until we open up to the possibilities, we're going to be stuck in these 3D conclusions. But if you're drawn to this class, it's because your soul wants to learn more how to shift. That's why you're here. Here in the fourth dimension, we have a buffer zone, and we can learn how to cleanse and prepare our mind and our body for further light and knowledge. This is the waiting room. Remember this word waiting. The waiting room where we practice thinning the veil and ridding ourselves of our unconscious beliefs so that we can become powerful creators and be entrusted with the tools of creation. This is the place where you can learn how to clear out your energy system of the baggage that will not survive the next stage of your progression. Knowing how to navigate through your chakra system or your energy system is going to help you recognize what lingering belief structures are still holding you back. If you start creating instantly with the leftover baggage, you will create pain and suffering very rapidly. I've learned that, where I have a lot of really good, positive days, and then I have a really bad day, and it's like bad things pile on really, really fast. And so it's just kind of interesting. This is the waiting room. So let me go what I mean by waiting. I mean by the word wait. I mean both the word wait. So if you can put just over here the word wait, W-A-I-T, and the word wait, W-E-I-G-H-T. The rate at which you are able to bring your spiritual downloads into physical form that means the rate at which you manifest from the spiritual into the physical form, is contingent on the amount of weight that the spiritual thought forms have to travel through your body. Does that make sense? So you can have a spiritual download come here, and if you get chalked and sludged in your other chakra systems, it can't come back out, manifest on the earth, and come back out.
Okay, so yeah. That was a lot.
Yes. The rate at which you're able to bring your spiritual downloads into the physical form is contingent. Yes. Is contingent on the amount to the weight the spiritual thought forms have to travel through.
It's contingent on the weight or amount?
Yeah.
Amount, weight?
Yeah, that's good. The weight it has to travel through. So what that means is the more weight that you carry, i.e. the baggage, the burdens that the Lord asks you to lay before him, the more weight you carry, whether it's emotional, psychological, mental, and even sometimes physical weight, because a lot of times the physical weight represents all of those things. The longer you wait for things to manifest in this dimension, your whole goal is to become an instrument in the hands of God so that he can pass through you quickly his information. Yes?
It just makes me think of a phenomenon that I see a lot with my clients, wherein, because these are the clients I've drawn to me, they are manifesting quite rapidly. They're gifted this way. And that's
Yes.
who they are, because their bodies aren't quite fit enough to allow that. So they're manifesting things so rapidly that are a lot of them are undesirable. And
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
phenomenon
Yes.
to watch. It's a little bit spooky, and to try to get them to wake up and see that you are doing this
Yeah.
rapidly and powerfully.
Yes.
You've got to take ownership of it.
Yes, and to teach us to our children, too. My children are powerful manifestors, and I did not teach them all that. I'm having to catch up. So, what time do we have here? I want to know what I can... What time is it? Okay. Okay. I'm going to go through some of these random symptoms that you might be experiencing as we're transitioning into the fifth dimension. You're feeling a deep-rooted peace, although around you is chaotic and fearful. And the peace supports you in everything you do.
Can I get rid of this and then start the fifth dimension? Is that what we're talking about now?
Go ahead and just write a line right there, because I want to... Yeah, you might want to take a picture. You might want to notice some of this is still fourth dimension when you're shifting. These things are happening when you're shifting into the fifth dimension. So, yeah, we do need a portal. These energy healers, they know what's going on here. So, as we shift from here to here, we might still be in the fourth dimension. I manifested in my Camaro. I'm so cool. I got it going on. I'm driving my Camaro, and the neighbors are starving next door. But hey, I figured out how to manifest. So they're going to be waiting in the waiting room for a while, because in the fifth dimension, there's a different feeling about life. That isn't about you. It's not about you. It's about us. All of us. Way out there, all of us becoming one. So you're able to react and respond with wisdom rather than through habit or conditioning. You can instantly feel the lower emotions. You're becoming sensitive to that, and you do what it takes to move out of them quickly rather than fantasize and marinate in them and see in them for days. Oh, I just feel so sick. What's wrong with me? No, just clear it out. Just move on. Let's get going. So you move on from, let's see, I missed front chair. Here's a trick here. Your sense of empathy and unity is expanding. So have you ever heard people say, oh, I'm an empath? And it's really cool to label ourselves because it makes us feel special, even though it's being an empath, people are like, it's not fun. And others like, well, that's what's wrong with me. Well, let me explain a little bit about this. The idea of us, let's see, we see others, why we're becoming empaths is because we're seeing others as part of us. We're starting to understand that. If you've not experienced this type of unity, it would be because of a toxic relationship with yourself and feeling yourself as being separate. So this concept of self-love and self-acceptance, although a lot of people get really worried about it because they don't know what the word love means, they think self-absorption or they're confused about fear of this self-love thing. I'm not talking about being amazed at the selfie and needing every other person to see your amazing selfie. That's kind of doctored up or has the different light shades, so it looks fabulous. That's not what I'm talking about, self-love. I'll talk more about that in a minute. We don't hear much about Jesus loving himself, though, do we? But we certainly know that he did not concern himself with thoughts of inadequacy or lack of self-worth or fear of disappointing God, or holding to past grudges, or needing to please others. He wasn't constantly trying to figure out what was wrong with him. He was in a higher stage of consciousness, and his compassion for the whole of humanity included himself. He was not separate from God. And he was trying to teach us how to not be separate from God. His greatest desire was for us to be one. In John 17:21, that they may all be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us. This idea of becoming one has everything to do with the high level of empathic people that are showing up. Empathy is not really a special or unique gift. We all have it. It's a stage of spiritual development that you're going through. When we have empathy, we have tapped into the oneness. And there's no reason to be afraid of it. Just don't make it yours. It's an impersonal thing. If we're empathic and we have baggage stuck in our lower chakras, this empathy can be used through the ego mind, and we use it to get gain or to control others. But if we're clear in all the other chakras, then we're able to use it to help others to heal and progress. So that's why, again, your inner work and your inner healing is the most valuable thing that you can offer the world. And it's the most valuable thing you can do for your children, is to clear and heal you from the inside. 7, you feel random feelings of love and joy and gratitude for no apparent reason. They're just flooding on through. And you believe it's going to come again. That's the thing. When I felt joy and gratitude, I'm like holding on to it as high as I could. I know I wasn't going to have it for a long, long time. But now it can flow through you. You no longer have a need to hold on to past limiting feelings regarding what's happening to you in the past. You can easily let them go. You're questioning everything you think and know because we're trying to break away from our conditioning, right? So we're questioning everything we think we know and the origins that are of these supposed truth rather than accepting them simply because it's what our culture believes. We're challenging our personal paradigm and that of our tribe and looking for the thread of truth in all belief systems so that we can come into balance and harmony in higher states of love and acceptance of all people. And you're experiencing a lot of that. It's going on all around the world. You crave the food that will help feed a higher dimensional body. If you're not craving it yet, then your body's going to do something that you're not going to appreciate to encourage you to start eating more of those live, living foods. Let's see. Throughout the day, you're aware and awake of your own negativity and limiting words and communications, and you make adjustments to reverse the powers in you that create the chaos and dysfunction. And here's the weird thing is you're beginning to hear it in other people. And that's hard. It's easier to hear it in other people than it is actually to hear it in yourself. And it's really tempting to try and fix them right then and there when you can hear everything. And so it becomes necessary for us to come up even higher levels of love. When you're raising in consciousness, there's like 4 legs to that table. And if you go 3 up and you forget this love and kindness and compassion part, it's all gonna collapse at one point until you can bring that up with you until you're balanced. Does that make sense? Okay. So you're no longer caught up in the time warps, like you're always feeling late. Anyone here always feel like they're late? Yeah. Always pressured for time. Things are not happening in your time frame. Desperate to have things to do things in your time rather than in the divine timing. You're becoming more comfortable with the divine timing and paying attention rather than thinking, oh, I was late. Oh, if I was just only early. And you go into that whole internal dialogue instead of being present, being still. Here's an interesting thing. You move from one life experience to the next without attaching so much drama to the wedding. So you can sit down for a minute, honey. Bless your heart.
I'm good.
I actually don't have anything for a few minutes, so you're good.
Cool.
So like weddings and funerals and things that used to just get you all worked up inside, trips that people are taking or what's going to happen when this happens, you're not so emotionally charged in it. You're just celebrating it. You're there and present and being excited. Miracles and connections divinely orchestrated are happening in your life every single day, all the time. Meeting random people, random opportunities popping up. So basically, I was going to review these, but we're going to keep them up there for now. Unfortunately, I had something I wanted to shift into that's important about you discovering your mission. And I think that is the key. Before we go on, though, I wanted to just let you know what I do. Healing Questions Guide. If you're not familiar with it, it's 50 pages of how to do it. The rest is a 500-page encyclopedia of you look up your symptom that's going in the body. Like I have immune system problems. I got impetigo. I've got lack of menstruation. I've got lung problems. Afterwards, you're going to find a series of relevant questions specific to what's going on in your body to ask the mind, to unlock it in the mind and activate healing. Now, it does one of two things. The first thing is it bypasses, the question bypasses the ego mind. I come in the back door with the question. The second one is, I don't have the answers in this book for you. I have questions, more questions. I don't want to be your authority because our goal is you become a sovereign mind. You become the authority in your life. So the second reason these questions are there is for you to open in dialogue with the divine, to open a portal of communication by asking a question relevant to what's going on in your body that you've never thought to ask because you didn't know that they were connected. So this is a tool to navigate your mind. I use it with 3 books. You Can Heal Your Life, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die, Michael Lincoln's Messages from the Body, Found the Continuities, and used my gift of asking relevant questions to create it. It's a 3-year project, and if you do energy work, it's going to be great in your practice. If you're new to this, it's going to be great for the new beginner. So even the skeptic, I love when skeptics open the book and go, how does she know that has to do with it? Yes? I have been working with my ego for a long time. We finally made friends. I've been beating it up for forever. So I've just listened to it. And I noticed that everybody else's ego was kind of working in that fashion. And then the great work of Carol Truman and Louise Hay and Michael Lincoln, those 3 works helped me to know which questions to ask to unlock that. Does that answer your question? Okay. So then you go to my booth and sign up for my email list, a free chakra chart. This is my extensive chakra chart. If you're any kind of healer, you're like, yes, I want this. Has everything I ever want to know about each chakra sitting right there, including the gland it's linked to, the negative connections, foods to support it, and the archetypes, the shadow side of that chakra, the positive side of that chakra. It's out there. And then this is what I use. I do a lot of EFT tapping. So this is the red chakra. It's the root chakra. Everything negative we store in that root chakra on the front, beliefs, and then the back is the positive affirmations. So no matter what modality you use in energy work, these tools will be beneficial to you. What I'm real excited about, though, is my upcoming online course, A Body of Light, where we teach some of the principles I'm talking to you about today. We go into each chakra and we go more detail into it. the glue that keeps us stuck in that chakra. We do guided meditation. If you want to know more about this course, you can go to abodyoflightcourse.com. It's right there. Oh, no, that's... Well, abodyoflight.com is going to get you access. It's not going to teach you. A Body of Light course is going to teach you more about what the course is. It's a over $3,500 course, but we're offering it right now for $297. So I would want, if you want to get into that, I'm just letting you know you were warned. So, but if you're not ready for it, then you shouldn't be there. But if you are, then jump on it. Okay, I want to talk about this thing, mission. Am I okay to erase this? Okay, take a picture. Fabulous writing, by the way. Thank you very much. Okay, so this download I had about mission happened to me when I was with my two girls. We decided to take the weekend off, and we went to Mission Bay, San Diego, and we were at the beach, and that's where I just connect with the earth and the heavens. Something happens to me at the beach. And so I was thinking about this word mission and about my mission and what mission means. A mission is that thing that life has been preparing you for. It's a patchwork and collection of your skills, your passions, your strengths, but it also has to do with your weaknesses and your triumph over the challenges and the total emergence of what has been planted in your heart. You're pregnant with your mission. Whether you're a man or a woman, your mission is in there. Okay, many times that seed never gets nourished because we never move on from the victim. And we never learn how to clear things out, and we're still stuck and trapped in the third dimensional thinking. However, if we learn to be in a state of growth, we become aware that every single challenge and hardship, every pain, conflict, and suffering has been for the purpose of you gaining further light and knowledge to perform your mission here on earth. What emerges after you have diligently pursued your inner hygiene, I call it your inner hygiene, is an instrument. You become literally an instrument through which God can manifest his gifts to his children. So let me tell you a little bit more about your mission. We have finished being a victim, and we stopped blaming the world. We've accessed more of these ideas in the fourth dimension. And we're moving on, we're no longer needing other people to validate us and looking for love from outside external forces. We're able to tap into the wellspring from within and know that we are deeply and profoundly loved. And that we're swimming in love all around us, and we've decided to accept it and feel it and hold it within us. So we're learning how to activate these laws of the universe, these laws that cannot be broken. Even all the gods have to follow the laws. And we're just learning how to align with those laws and understand them because we've been doing it a little unconsciously for a while. After this happens, we start to feel a call, or the call becomes more clear. We've moved beyond the ethnocentricity. We've moved beyond even the world centricity, and we're moving into a global centricity. You're starting to see the bigger picture that has been very difficult for people to explain. Prophets have been trying to explain it for many, many years. And it's hard to explain, but it's a global connection to everything that's going on. Every sentient being in all of life becomes interesting to you. Because in order for you to shift from the third to fourth dimension, there's a lot of complacency and comfortability in this life. But then something happens to you, whether it happens because you're too comfortable or because you're just striving. You're one of those kind of spirits that are striving. You enter what's called vital interest. And that means I'm vitally interested about what I'm about. Who am I? What have I come here to do? So we have no desire to harm others with this mission. We have no desire to get ahead of others. But we become a part of the desire to be agents to help relieve the suffering of others through the service that's uniquely ours. And this has so much to do with our directive to become emissaries of light. The Apostle Paul often referred to himself as an emissary of Jesus Christ. The word emissary has a root in it that expanded its view to me while I was at the beach. And I want to explain this to you as we go along. I'm going to write the word down. So they both have a link word in there. Can you tell me what that is? Emissary, mission, miss. Yes. Good job. Okay. They all have this word, miss. Okay. Here are some other clues that are going to help us reveal more about our mission. Number one is the belief that you have a special mission. Do you believe you have a special mission? A lot of people don't. They're just here to survive. Some of us will resist this idea altogether. Our goal is to just have fun and survive Earth life with the least amount of scars. But what if our souls are actually connected to one another, so much so that our greatest desire is to lift and serve each other? We each have specific skills and gifts and abilities and desires, and the key is that we must first be willing to give of ourselves. And give ourselves, the first thing is, so we've talked emissary. The next miss is permission. I was always looking for permission. 5 minutes? Okay. I was always looking for permission. Honey, can I do this? Dad, can I do this? Church leader, can I do this? Can I do this? You have to give yourself permission to acknowledge and to step into your mission. And the word permission means consent or authorization. You give your consent and your authorization. If we never consent to our mission, we never permit ourselves to or authorize ourselves to have a mission, it will not reveal itself to us. Permission means that you give God permission or consent to work through you. God cannot work through you if you do not give him permission. Now, this is the trick. If we haven't cleared our lower energy centers and if we're still oblivious to our ego states, it's going to get a little weird. But in order for us to be successful in our mission, we also have to practice submission. And we have to ask submission to what? The word means to act or yield to a superior force or the will of another. And if you want to step into your divine mission, you must give yourself permission to do so, and you must also be willing to submit to the divine. If we have not yet established a direct connection to God, this might be difficult because we will learn to practice submission. If we don't practice it, then we cannot receive our commission. The word commission means to receive instruction, to receive a command, or a duty to bring into working condition. These things cannot happen if our mind-body instrument is not in top working condition, because we have resisted or failed to submit to the laws of health and vitality. And if you permit God to work through you, and you submit to the divine voice, you will receive your daily commission or your daily instructions. And as we investigate this word mission a little further, we find the word remission. Now, this has a lot of different, definitions. This is the one that I'm going to go explain to you. What I was shown about this word remission and how it pertains to mission is that as we are awakened to the purpose of the unique suffering that we personally have gone through and experienced in our own life, we have been provided the divine instructions necessary to remit the pain and suffering or cover or relieve the pain that we have experienced. And we do this as Christ shows us these pathways. It is washed away in the joy of being able to offer the same relief to others who are suffering with the same pain. That's why you were willing to go through it. That's why you were willing to suffer and to learn how to get out of it, because there will be others behind you who need what it is you've come here to learn. That is remission. Ironically or providentially, this word remission also means to have a respite from the suffering. And it also means to send in money or payment as a gift. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the new commodity of the future. Let me explain to you what it is. We are stepping into a time where the law of divine compensation is being activated. Your mission literally becomes the relief and the resource from the very things that you've suffered. This is the definition of the word wisdom. You've gained wisdom through your suffering, not through whatever school you got a degree from. That's not where you got the wisdom, through your suffering. It is knowledge gained through experience. Wisdom, my friends, is the commodity of the future. You have paid it today. That's what you're buying. Wisdom. It's what you're activating from the divine. And people are going to want to know how you do that because it's their call to do the same. So, get with a mentor that directs you to hear the divine voice. Challenge any mentor, teacher, or system or institution that seeks to support or supplant or mediate between you and that divine connection. Question it. Go directly to the divine and refuse to be the authority for other people. Don't be the authority for other people. Through your missions, though your missions will be unique to us, a true emissary of light has their own oxygen mask on first. You know what I mean if you ride an airplane. Put your own oxygen mask on first. And then your intention as a facilitator is to help you get other people hooked up to the oxygen mask. Oops, excuse me. But here's the thing. You aren't the oxygen. You're just helping them to get the mask on. Right? Let the oxygen flow once it gets there. Okay. And this is the last and final piece that I have to share with you. I feel like I'm talking so fast. What I've learned through my own experience is that God desires to breathe light and love through you without interference. When God can do this, you're free to become an instrument where you can transmit God's power to others in an abundant symphony of joy and fulfillment. And this is done through transmission of His power through you to bless and lift others, all of His children, without exception, without exclusion. And as we clear, cleanse, and free our body temple to be instruments for God to breathe through us, we increase in our transmissibility. Let me share with you what the word transmissibility means in the electronics world. The ratio of output to input. It means amplification. It means even maximum amplification occurs when the natural frequency can pass through the system unobstructed. And you have become a body of light, an emissary of the divine, and a gift to the world that you were meant to be. God told me once, as I was frustrated and overwhelmed with all the things I felt expected to do, feeling behind and curious and stuck in everything, and He told me, Wendy, until you stop trying to impress the world, you will never discover how you were born to bless the world. I wish I could understand that when He told it to me. It's been a journey since there. But you too, each one of you are meant to bless the world. And I am blessed to be in your presence. We're all blessed to be in one another's presence. This is my hope for you, that you dissolve, destroy, deconstruct, dismiss anything and everything that has ever caused you to forget who you are and whose you are. And may the veil be lifted as you become a confident, supported agent for God and a true emissary of light. It is my mission to prepare, specifically women, as emissaries of light, to fully embody their sacred calling. And you have one, and I thank you for spending the time with me today to listen more about your calling and your mission as we enter into the fifth dimension. I'd love to have you come and visit me at my booth. It's the purple one in the corner in room 400. Thank you so much.